Big with Steve Bartilla. Brought to you by
mock scrapes are, frankly, one of the most underutilized tools at our disposal when it comes to hunting and managing. Specifically for hunting, what they do is you go ahead and place a scrape tree out in the middle of a plot like this, and not all the deer, but more deer are gonna go like this to come and work this scrape. Mainly because scrapes are essentially the whitetail's world's equivalent of a human billboard. Okay, it's meant to advertise information to a whole bunch of other deer. Geez, this out here in the middle of a food plot sticks out a lot more than that branch along the edge over there. Because of that, it tends to draw a lot of attention. When you're setting up mock scrapes, you want to go ahead and position these licking branches back towards the stand or blind in this case. The reason is simple, because when they come in to work this, that's a nice shot angle over there, isn't it? You also want to place them at a known distance from the stand. And that way you don't have to think. When this all works well, that buck is working that scrape there, you're sitting back in that blind and you got all day in the world to go like this. Okay, I know that's 20 yards because I put that right there, take my time, take the shot, and we're golden. What I want to talk a little bit about today is every year I do scrape shows, and I will continue to do them because frankly they're so underrated and underutilized. But what I want to talk today about are making scrape trees. There's two different ways that you can go about planting a scrape, well, three different ways you can go about planting a scrape tree in the middle of a field or food plot. One is to actually literally plant a tree and then wait for it to get to the size and hope the branches stay down, all that junk. Too much time and too impatient. The other I found is just to simply cut a tree that when planted 3 feet in the ground is going to have licking branches right here at the nose level of the bucks. That's good and great. The thing that I've found is hardwoods tend to hold up a lot better than softwoods. Softwoods you're darn lucky to get a year out of. Your hardwoods I can generally get, 2-3 years out of them. Or, I'm not going to give you the specs on this because frankly, I just made it up as I went along. But what I did is I took a treated fence post, slapped a treated 2x10 on top of it, put bigger brackets, 1 bracket in the back end, and 3 smaller U-brackets in the front. Now all I have to do is, as you can see, this is from last year, I'll come in here, I'll loosen that up, I'll take those out, I will go ahead and replace them, and we will have ourselves a new scrape tree. I'll have to clean up the weeds underneath it, hang myself a Magnum scrape dripper, fill it up with, the first time I tend to fill it up with hot scrape, which is a synthetic, and then once we get into October or so, I go ahead and swap over to golden scrape. It's just simply attached to the fence post here with 3 deck screws, and I use some, frankly I use some Gorilla Glue as well, and use it on top to go ahead and seal the holes. The advantage of this now is I can swap this out year after year after year after year. But if you're on public ground, don't worry about it. All you have to do is bend that branch down, put it right in his nose. But keep this in mind while you're doing it. That is, the more you can make it stand out, the more effective generally it'll be. As long as it is in a high deer concentration area. As far as branches, I have not found much of a difference. I always get this question, what branches should I use? What branches? I've had deer work, I've seen countless scrapes where deer are working licking branches with thorns on them like that. Okay, the biggest key, and I can't stress this enough, the biggest key is put them in areas that deer are concentrated in. You do that, you make it stand out, and what limb you use generally really doesn't matter. I tend to use oaks, just simply because they hold up better. But if you really want to get cute, you can go ahead and cut licking branches off of trees that where you don't want them to scrape and use them. Or just simply observe what the deer are using for licking branches in your area and go ahead and grab potential licking branches on those specific types of trees.
Hunting Big with Steve Bartilla. Brought to you by
Mock scrapes really honestly are one of the most underutilized and powerful tools we have in our hunting arsenal. Now, they will not change the world. These people who talk about these mock scrapes dragging bucks in from 4 ridges away, no. But when you're on a food plot like this that you can't quite cover, you put something like this in the center, a scrape tree, and the deer tend to go like this. No, not every single deer is going to, but you're going to get 5, 10, 15% more shot opportunities at the deer that come out here because of this. Make it stick out like a sore thumb. Point those licking branches back towards that ground blind or that tree stand and place it at a known yardage. You do those things and it is amazing how much of a little difference maker this sucker can be.